There is something almost unbelievable about the idea that some of the coldest nights on Earth happen in places we often picture as endless ovens of heat. Yet for thousands of years, desert nomads moved through these lands with confidence, outsmarting temperatures that could plunge from blistering daytime heat to freezing darkness in a matter of hours. While most of us would struggle to survive a single night without a heater, these people mastered warmth in ways that feel almost supernatural today. Their secrets were not magic. They were engineering, resourcefulness, and pure human brilliance, etched into traditions that modern life has nearly forgotten. The desert's hidden chill. Extremes often hide in plain sight, and the desert is one of the biggest deceptions in nature. Under the blazing sun, sand releases heat into the air like a massive natural furnace. But once darkness falls, that same sand loses warmth so quickly that frost can form by sunrise. Ancient travelers understood this brutal duality better than anyone. They expected the cold, they prepared for it, and they did it all with nothing but what they could carry or build with their own hands. That preparation began with understanding heat the same way a soldier studies terrain. They knew that survival in the desert did not come from fighting the environment, but from working with it. Shelters that worked like natural insulators. Nomadic desert homes were far more than tents thrown together for shade. They were carefully engineered structures designed to trap warmth during the coldest nights. These mobile shelters used materials like woven wool, thick animal hides, and heavy cloth that worked the way modern insulation does today. Instead of fragile thin sheets, these tents had layered walls that breathed, shifted, and expanded depending on the weather. When the temperature dropped, the fibers in wool tightened and trapped air, creating a heated cushion inside. What looked simple on the outside was actually a sophisticated form of climate control. The layout of these shelters also mattered. Openings were angled to reduce wind exposure, and the low, curved shapes minimized heat loss. The same strategy used by modern engineers designing energy-efficient homes. Desert dwellers were living this wisdom thousands of years before anyone invented the word sustainability. The art of wearing heat instead of losing it. Clothing was another masterstroke of desert survival. Instead of wearing thick, bulky layers that restricted movement, nomads relied on a clever multi-layer system using wool and soft fabrics that trapped warm air without weighing them down. Think of it as ancient thermal wear that rivaled modern outdoor gear. These layers created tiny pockets of heat between each fabric level, allowing the body's natural warmth to circulate instead of escape. They wrapped head coverings that protected the face from icy winds and wrapped loose garments that allowed them to sit, sleep, or move without exposing skin to the cold. What made this approach so brilliant was its dual purpose. The same outfit could protect from the burning sun by creating shade over the skin, then become a heat trap at night. It was adaptive survival clothing long before that term existed. Warming from the inside out, but staying warm was not just about what went around the body. It was also about what went into it. Nomads understood internal heat better than many modern survivalists. Before nightfall, they consumed slow-burning foods rich in fats and proteins. These meals turned the body into a natural furnace during sleep, maintaining temperature from within. Warm teas made from local herbs were used to stimulate circulation and keep energy levels steady. This was not luxury. This was nightly combat against temperatures that could drop to levels capable of freezing exposed skin. They treated food as fuel and warmth as strategy. Fire without waste. Fire, of course, played its part, but not in the dramatic, roaring way Hollywood likes to show. Desert nomads had limited fuel. Every twig mattered. They learned to burn small, controlled fires in pits designed to capture and radiate heat slowly. Instead of letting flames dance high into the night, they created low fires that transferred warmth directly into the ground and the surrounding air. Some groups placed stones near the flames until the stones absorbed the heat, then buried them under bedding where they released warmth for hours. It was the ancient version of a rechargeable battery. They perfected ember management techniques to keep coals alive until morning. A few careful breaths at dawn brought the fire back to life, saving precious wood and energy. The strength of sleeping together. Communal warmth was another powerful survival tool. Families and tribes slept in tight arrangements, placing the youngest and weakest in the center where body heat pooled the strongest. This was not just emotional closeness. It was strategic thermal protection. They knew that warmth was a shared resource, and survival depended on using every available advantage, including the human body's natural heat output. This simple habit saved lives during sandstorms, cold snaps, and long journeys. Ancient wisdom in a modern world. In a time when people rely on electricity for every small comfort, the forgotten heat-keeping techniques of desert nomads feel surprisingly relevant. They remind us that insulation works best when it traps air, not when it is thick. They show that clothing layers matter more than heaviness. They prove that energy efficiency is not new. Humans have been perfecting it for centuries. These methods can inspire modern off-grid living, camping strategies, and eco-friendly home designs. Even today, engineers study wool because its natural structure outperforms many synthetic materials. Desert survival wisdom continues to shape ideas of architecture, clothing design, and environmental adaptation. A message for the future. As the world faces shifting climates and increasing energy challenges, the way desert nomads approached cold nights feels almost prophetic. They relied on knowledge instead of electricity, strategy instead of resources, and community instead of isolation. Their story pushes us to question how dependent we are on modern systems, and reminds us that human adaptability is far older and more impressive than any device we plug into a wall. If you enjoyed uncovering these remarkable techniques and want to explore more forgotten knowledge from the front lines of history, make sure you subscribe to The Forgotten War Fronts and share this with someone who loves learning how our ancestors survived the impossible.